Hey guys, this is my Thor Ragnarok review. First of all, I recommend everyone to go and see this movie. It has been released for at least 3 weeks everywhere in the world. It was released first in other regions of the world and then in the United States. So far, it has made at least $660 million, which is much more than the budget that it was used in the movie. But besides that, it makes a really good sign of this movie crossing the $1 billion mark, which is going to be insane if that happens. Of course, Justice League is going to be released this weekend, but after the reviews that have come out of Justice League, I don't think Thor is going to have any problem reaching at least 800 million, 900 million. I think it's going to be the number, maybe 1 billion. That will be amazing. Thor Ragnarok tells the story of Thor, who is banished of his own land after Hela, the goddess of death, arrives and destroys everything, expels him to another planet. In that planet, one of the greatest warriors there, and it's an arena world, one of the greatest warriors is his old friend Hulk, and he has to make an alliance with him and with other characters such as Loki and Valkyrie in order to get back to his world and save the world from Ragnarok, the destruction and end of the world as we know it. This movie is absolutely hilarious. This is the first movie from the MCU directed by Taika Waititi, a New Zealand director who loves comedy and of course had to take this character into a whole new direction. I mean, Thor had never been so funny in any of the Marvel movies before, and I think he needed this change, to be honest. Thor: The Dark World was it was the worst reviewed MCU movie ever, with a 66% in Rotten Tomatoes, so that means it wasn't really that good. And that's why I think that new direction was needed for the character, using Chris Hemsworth, great timing for comedy, and Taika Waititi's talent for delivering that comedy. So Chris Hemsworth is as good as ever as the mighty Thor, and of course he's accompanied by amazing actors all over the place. Mark Ruffalo is great. Hulk is one of the best things about the movie, but also he's one of the best Hulks ever in this movie. Hulk has never been so human. And that's weird because he's in his Hulk form most of the movie. So it's really interesting that we explore the differences between Banner and Hulk, and how Hulk, the green creature, actually has a personality and a thing of his own, basically. Then there's Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie, one of the most kick-ass women I have seen in the MCU by far, I would say. Kate Blanchett as Hela, one of the best villains in an MCU movie ever. I mean, she's really amazing, and it's Kate Blanchett. The only thing that I hate about this movie is that they gave Kate Blanchett a really tiny amount of screen time, and that's not fair because she's amazing. I mean, how don't you give her more time? I mean, that's insane. Karl Urban is in this movie too. He is a great actor, but his character is rather inconsequential and nobody really cares about him. He could have not appeared in this movie and it would be the same. Jeff Goldblum is the Grandmaster and he's amazing, he's grandiose, he's just the best thing ever because he's a really great character actor, I would say Jeff Goldblum is, and he loves these insane characters and he does a great job with them, much better than the Collector, for example, from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. This is much better, absolutely much better. Loki appears in this movie too. Tom Hiddleston portrays him again, and I have to say I'm a little bit tired of Loki. I mean, I understand that the banter between brothers is really important, especially in this movie actually, but I think it's time they take a break on Loki. I know Loki hasn't appeared in a movie in a long time, but I think it's not one of the best MCU characters, and I think Tom Hiddleston is definitely not a good Loki. You could have chosen someone much better, so not so good. Besides this, CGI was really great, the visual effects are really great, except in some moments where you ask yourself, isn't this the moment where the MCU should be getting better in visual effects, like new things, like new innovations? I mean, I have done my review for War of the Planet of the Apes, and those movies have improved actually. The last one is just amazing in the visual effects and motion capture. This one in Thor Ragnarok, it seems like they are doing the same thing for the last 5 years, and that's ridiculous. I mean, that's just so stupid. And this movie has a lot of things to show through visual effects, so it's kind of disappointing, although the production design, for example, and kind of the costume design are really well done, really portraying these new worlds that we haven't seen before in the MCU. It's really interesting, but again, the visual effects could have been a lot better. I hope they get better in Avengers Infinity War. You should stay for the mid-credit scene. At the end credit scene, it's not really that important, but the mid-credit scene, I think it's going to elicit a lot of heated debates about the future of the MCU and what happens just after Thor Ragnarok. So this is a really recommended movie. I hope you all go to see this movie because it's really funny. It really takes a character that we have seen before and in a whole new direction, and I think that's important, that filmmakers realize that things have to be renovated. And Thor used to be one of the weakest links in the MCU, and now he's one of the strongest ones. I think in this movie he's portrayed much better than Captain America or Iron Man, to be honest. I mean, in Civil War it was about who's Team Tony and who's Team Steve. I'm Team Thor in this in this case. I mean, I'm behind him because he learns things and he's in the process of learning and discovering things and trial and error, and these other characters seem to be like gods, and he's the real god and he's the one that's having this process about him. So I think that's insanely great. I think it's a very recommended movie for everyone. It's the second most well-reviewed movie in the MCU. So just go and see this movie, please. Of course, there's Justice League this weekend, so you can choose between both if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, but I think a lot of people have seen this movie so far, so why not see it again? Thank you so much for watching this review. Please like this video or dislike this video. If you don't agree with what I said about this movie, please comment down below what you think about this movie. Share this video on your social media and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Goodbye.